Hey, good afternoon or evening because it's after 6. This is DJ Straight coming to you again live from Praise from the Closet. It is Friday and it turned out to be a beautiful day. As always, if you are watching on Facebook, you can hit share to whomever you like. And if you are on YouTube, go to DJ Straight and also hit subscribe so you will know what shows we have coming on coming up next week or for the month of April. We've got a lot of good things going on. I'm excited about our guest tonight because just in communicating with him, he is full of knowledge, a wealth of knowledge. And also, don't forget, if you just ever want to hear some great inspirational music, go to our website, WGMLB, which stands for Wonderful Gospel Music Lovers Buffet, where you will hear all types of inspirational music and hit listen live, and it'll just take you on to another world. But at this time, I am going to bring on our guest for tonight. He is an individual, let me make up this word, extraordinarily, because as I stated, he has a wealth of knowledge on quite a few areas. And I am definitely interested in hearing all that he has to say. So, Andrew, he put that middle initial in there, y'all. Andrew C. Walker, welcome to Praise from the Cloud with DJ Straight. How are you?
Thank you. Wonderfully well. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, you put that whole name in there. What does that name mean to you? Oh, yeah, double R's in there. Okay, cool. What is that name? Where did that name come from?
Well, my sister has a lot to do with me being named. My sister, Andrew Clinton Walker. And, Andrew is a common name, but Andrew means manly.
Okay.
And Clinton means superior. Now, of course, you can find different avenues of learning about what names mean and things of that nature. I just happened to look it up a long time ago because I wanted to know. Andrew was so common, I had to find out what was going on. It also means drawn from the water from a African context.
Okay. Now, I asked you what your name meant, and you gave me a thorough explanation. And that's what I like about you. Just in communicating, you make sure that you cover all points. So tell us, where did you grow up? Where are you originally from?
Okay, let me just share. I'm an entrepreneur in the DMV district, Maryland and Virginia. I bring to the marketplace a platform. Drew's, people, my friends call me Drew. So I use that as part of my business name, Drew's Cost Reduction Platform. I specialize in helping consumers and business entities reduce their monthly business and household expenses. But it was a journey getting to this point.
That's where I want. Yes. So where did you get the passion?
If we reflect back, I'm a country boy. I was born and raised in a small rural area, Lawrenceville, Virginia, Brunswick County. Lawrenceville is about 70 miles south of Virginia's capital, Richmond.
Okay.
A small community, but a very pleasant community. And it has the same atmosphere as any other area. You have the same issues that goes on in any other area. It just happened to be the area that I grew up in.
Okay.
And when you think about from a city standpoint to a rural standpoint, you might have less of it, but you still have it.
You still have it,
So
absolutely.
you're introduced to a little bit of everything. I put it that way. You're introduced to the good, you're introduced to the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. You grow up in it, you understand it, you grow through it, you accept the environment as it is. But I had a beautiful childhood. Growing up, I didn't know that my family wasn't monetarily wealthy because really, I didn't experience walking around with no shoes, and shoes with holes in the bottoms. I didn't experience that, so I can't tell you about that.
Okay. Okay.
I can tell you that my mother and father worked their best to make sure that the family was provided for as parents supposed to do, and they were respected, by my siblings as such. So my father was a public worker. My mother was a domestic worker, and they were excellent individuals, beautiful people. And sometimes you don't realize how much you have until you do not have it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know what? And because we're going to talk about network marketing, can you remember your very first job that you got paid for?
The very first job I got paid for, I was in the neighborhood and I was looking through. I used to read comic books, the Archie comic books. They had advertisements in there about Grit newspapers. I don't know if anybody remember that or not. Grit newspapers and Mason shoes. So in a rural area, and you think about how far apart the houses might be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a young boy, and I'm selling Mason shoes to the neighbors, right? Like they need
You were like
Mason
real shoes?
real shoes, yeah. Like
Oh.
they need shoes, right? Like Mason shoes, man. Grit newspaper, selling the newspaper. Every now and then, the neighbor would purchase a newspaper because it was different. And
Okay.
when you're reading different things from different places, it's an insight. So that was a little bit more successful, but that was the first monies that I ever really made was selling shoes and selling newspapers in the neighborhood. And then from there, I graduated to cutting grass for the neighbors. And also, see, when I grew up behind plowing behind a mule. See, that was something that individuals can't relate to these days.
Right.
I had to keep not only our garden in good shape, but also neighbors. Like I had to plow and get on the wagon, and I'd drive up and down the road, and neighbors paid me for coming and manicuring their garden.
So do you find that starting with the shoes and the grit newspaper that developed a work ethic in you, or you did it because you just wanted to do that?
That was just something that piqued my interest. My father had me out there working in the garden and plowing behind that mule.
Mm-hmm.
That developed the work ethic because see, that wasn't something that I could get around. That, hey, boy, where you at? Come on out here. That's
Okay.
going to be done. You're going to be out there and you're going to help. But, I ate healthy. So the work wasn't in vain. I just didn't like doing it. But the results of doing it was the best part of it, the
Okay.
garden, the different vegetables that my father planted and things of that nature.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you this question because it's going to segue into your network marketing, because I am so I believe in networking. I believe in, if you know somebody that does something that somebody else needs, hey, let them know about it, or vice versa. Do you feel that by you doing what you did, that you influence some of your friends to go out and get jobs, or to develop a work ethic at a young age?
Well, most of my friends like uh, were older than I was,
Okay.
so they were already working. I
Okay.
came up behind them. Um, my brother, he was already out there working, so I came up behind him.
Okay.
And my neighbors, they were already the guys that I went to school with that was ahead of me. They were already working. Guys that I did work with, it was a lot of individuals in the area that were contractors. Uh,
Okay.
and so I started working with them during the summer, like as a laborer, carrying blocks and things of that nature. They were builders carrying blocks, things of that nature. And that helped a lot to instill in me work ethics. But it all started from my father.
Okay.
He had me out there early. I mean, he had me out there early.
I bet you'd have appreciated it once you got on your own.
It helped a lot. I mean, my dad was a good guy. I mean, he was a great guy, and he was a provider for the family, and that's what I saw.
Okay.
I saw it all the time. That was what was instilled in me to be the same way.
Okay.
So, however it unfolds for me, whoever comes in my circle will understand that, hey, Andrew is a provider. He's a giver, because that's the way it was given to me. You know, I mean, he gave me a little bit more when I had to go out there and pull that switch off the tree, but yet and still, it was an understanding that, hey, you're under my roof, but yet I'm gonna take care of you while you're here, and that was what it was all about. Understanding that I came up in an atmosphere of discipline,
Okay.
and that's always been with me. You know, one other thing that was very important. I grew up. There was a scoutmaster by the name of William Washington. We called him Doc. Doc was the scoutmaster. I think I went into scouts when I was about in the 5th grade, something like that. And it was something that we didn't really think about. I didn't really think about then, but it was 12 points of the Boy Scout law. And this is how it unfolds, because it's very important. Boy Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, thrifty, cheerful, obedient, brave, clean, and reverent. But the thing about it was trustworthy, loyal, brave, clean, and reverent. But the thing about it was those characteristics that we were reading then resonates with me now more than then, because I understand that those virtues, those values are something that we live with every day, and it's something that I always can bring to present in any situation that I might be in. So important then, but it's more important now.
So tell me, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? And I'm going to, ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ Straight. And as I talk to Mr. Andrew C. Walker, you will see me put his website up, his email information, and also his phone number. So after the conversation, you want to reach out to him. I'm giving you all the tools, the means. And then also, if you're watching and you have comments, comment on YouTube. Your Facebook won't allow comments, but please comment on YouTube. And if you have questions, thank you very much. So going back, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur to you?
Something I learned when I was working for the federal government. But before I get there, I'm going to share. I was in the Air Force, and I had just gotten out of tech school. I was in Keesler Air Force Base, Biloxi, Mississippi. It's at Gulfport Airport, getting ready to fly to Washington. In the gift shop, and I was looking at the books in the gift shop, and as I was turning the books around, there was a book entitled "The Magic of Thinking Big." And when I passed it, I had to, turn it back around. I said, I'm gonna get this book. On the plane, I was reading it, and there's a saying: once your mind is expanded by an idea, it never goes back to its original state. And reading that book expanded my mind that, hey, you're in the Air Force now, but you want more than just being in the Air Force. You want more, because now you know that it's more in you than what somebody have told you. But it's going to be up to you to find out what it is. So that was the beginning of the curiosity stage. And in growing, there were stages that I went through that I did not understand. The first stage in being unconsciously incompetent. I did not know what I did not know.
Unconsciously, okay.
The second stage was being unconsciously competent. I knew that I didn't know.
And you were willing to admit that.
The third stage was being consciously competent. I'm beginning to become aware of who Andrew C. Walker is as an individual. I'm beginning to become aware of my surroundings. I'm beginning to become aware of how people are really treating me and how I'm really treating people. Everybody that's in your circle is not in your corner. I'm beginning to understand that now it's time for me to look at that individual in the mirror and look beyond the image I see looking back at me.
Okay.
It becomes very important now to understand that even though I'm at the consciously competent stage, I want to be unconsciously competent.
Mm-hmm.
And that stage is growing, is where I seek, and that's growing to be in a position to work, to understand life, to deal with people more, just like riding a bicycle or driving a car. People do that. They are unconsciously competent at it. They do it without thinking about it.
Right.
And so from a business perspective, I grow to be in an arena, in an area in myself where I can do it without thinking about it. Even though I'm doing it intentionally, I'm doing it without thinking about it. And that to me is being successful in an area of expertise where I took the time to find out about it, took the time to become a student of what I wanted to do, took the time to sharpen my saw so that when I go out, when I meet the public, when I talk to the public, I'm not talking from an area of what somebody told me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about experience. I'm not talking about theory.
Right.
Not theoretical. It's what I have learned, it's what I have done, it's what I have applied. And because of that, if I know it works, I can show somebody else how it works.
You know what? That's good. Um, I'm looking at my notes from an interview yesterday, and what you said reminded me of that because you had to acknowledge, you accessed, and then you had to address it. And then you also had to apply with what you were learning because you had a mindset to set out to learn. So tell us about your company or your business and what it entails so that we can help other people.
Well, I'll share this, and I think this is very important because when I come to the platform, I explain that I specialize in helping not only residential consumers, but commercial also to save on their monthly expenses. This is very important because we all need to save money. We spend over $60 billion a year overpayment on our household expenses. But because we do it habitually, constantly, and traditionally, we don't even think about it. So when someone brings it to our attention, it's like we have in our brain what's called a reticular activating system. It's a filter that if you're not used to it, it keeps it out because it thinks that you are in danger. Well, I don't, that's the way the mind works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm protecting you because you're unfamiliar with what is being presented to you.
Correct. That's
so
right.
You keep it out. But the important thing is understanding that everything that's presented to you is not bad for you. But because of the way we are developed neurologically, we have sometimes trouble understanding it's not what's going on around us. It's us attempting to accept or discard what's being presented to us. So from a standpoint of sharing the business, I'd rather explain how I grew as an entrepreneur in network marketing so that one can understand it doesn't matter, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, it doesn't matter about from a whole of what I do, because there are a lot of network marketing, direct sales companies out there. Let me just explain this.
Okay, can I ask you a question? So, what's a definition of network marketing? Because I think for me personally, my definition for network marketing is, oh, okay, this person is doing something similar to what I'm doing. Maybe I can partner with them and partner with them. But from what I'm hearing you say, my definition may be incorrect. So, for myself and for the listening audience, can you maybe give a layman's term for network marketing and then go into what you're going to say so that we can understand?
In short, in short,
There you go.
network marketing, networking. We do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
We talk to people every day. We share people. Hey, have you seen that movie that's out? People go see it. Hey, have you shopped at this new store? People go see it. Have you tried this out? Have you tried that out? People go see, people check it out. So in networking is simply dealing with people, just dealing with people, just talking to people. That's networking.
Okay.
Marketing, marketing, marketing. If an individual have a service or product that they present to the marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
then it's marketing.
Okay.
If you have a service, if you have a product
Write that
that you
down.
present to
Okay.
the marketplace, it's marketing.
Okay.
Therefore, it's network marketing. Network marketing, not net play marketing, network marketing. And it's just that simple. A group of individuals sharing something to the marketplace that can be beneficial to them. And in our area, in our time, it's a service or product that consumers use.
Okay. So marketplace really is business, but if I'm sharing person to person, that isn't network marketing. That's just networking.
That's just networking.
Okay. Good. All right. See, I got my little pen.
When you when you put the marketing on it, then you are sharing something to the marketplace, either a service or a product to the marketplace. And here is the thing about how it unfolds. The reason why direct sales companies use individuals to present their product or service to the marketplace, it is cheaper for them to do that, and it's more efficient because word of mouth advertising covers more basically than what the TV might do, what the radio might do.
Mhm.
So
Right.
as opposed to paying for advertising on the radio or advertising on the TV, the companies would take that money and give it to the individuals that are out there sharing the product or service to the marketplace.
Okay.
Now, we have what individuals might say, I'm sure you heard it, one of those pyramid schemes. Or you might hear one of those things. Or you might hear, I had a cousin who had an uncle who had a brother. It didn't work for them, so it
Okay.
ain't gonna work for me. So here's an individual that is using somebody that they don't know to make a decision for them for their life. I always share with individuals the Direct Sales Association, downtown Washington, D.C. You can put it in Google, it'll come up, Direct Sales Association. Put in the 100 most successful direct sales companies.
Okay.
It'll bring it up for you. And I'm just gonna name a few: Amway, Avon, Mary Kay, Nutrilite, just to name a few of them that's on that list. Now, every company the company don't have to be on the list to be successful, but
Okay.
they're on the list because the point that I'm making is if the Direct Sales Association, downtown Washington, D.C., have companies listed that are legit direct sales companies, then why would an individual consider it to be a pyramid scheme? Pyramid schemes are illegal. why would the Direct Sales Association, downtown Washington, D.C., have these companies listed if they wasn't legitimate?
All right, so let me ask you this question. Based on the direct sales company, I have found that in looking at the Better Business Bureau, it seems like quite a few companies have high markings. Now, when you see and I'm asking for my understanding as well as the audience, when you see those markings in the Better Business Bureau, are those ratings legitimate, or is there a fee that some companies pay to get a particular rating? Because then I'm thinking about going back to your direct sales company and to look those up.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that. I don't know.
Okay.
And what's important is to understand, though, the Better Business Bureau is there for a reason. And now I don't know what type of bureaucracy might be going on and stuff like that, and I won't even get into that.
Right. Okay.
But it's important to understand that when individuals are involving themselves into anything, it's best that they do their due diligence.
That's right.
If you feel that it's not something that fits your character, then stay away from it. It doesn't mean that it's not legit just because you don't like it. It might not your interest.
Okay.
You always want to do something that piques your interest, something that resonates with you. That way, you'll know whether or not it's worth your time. It's important to understand you don't do anything. Or somebody come to you and say, hey, come on, join me. You can make a lot of money. You don't have to do anything. Matter of fact, I do it for you.
Okay.
It don't take long. You don't have to do no work. Now, if an individual tell you that, and you got dollar signs in your eyes as opposed to doing your due diligence, then you're going to get what you get.
Right.
If somebody shares with you a business opportunity and you do your due diligence and you say, well, okay, yeah, I see that you can make a lot of money with this company, but this is not for me. I don't see myself succeeding in it. Then you follow your intuition.
Correct.
Because that's the best thing to do. So it's always good to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. Let me repeat that. What you're doing, why you're doing it. Because if you know why you're doing it, your passion will be revealed to you.
That's right.
It's not your passion why, it's your why, then passion.
Okay. So is there any legitimacy in easy money, as people coin the term? Oh man, this is easy money. This is easy money. Is there something, is that really legitimate as an entrepreneur? Now, hustler may be something different, but as an entrepreneur.
The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary.
Okay.
Even an individual that might deem themselves to be a hustler doesn't have to be in a negative way.
Right. I agree.
If a person had to get up and go out there to work, one of my favorite mentors is Les Brown. And, Les, I like his sayings. I love, sometimes when I was like, I would get discouraged. Listen to me, please. Get discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
Things not unfolding my way. Now, there's a lot I can say about that, but I'm going to share something and then I'm going to say it. Les Brown would say, and I look in the mirror and I say it, If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, your sleep for it, if you gladly fret for it, sweat for it, lose all terror of the opposition for it, if you simply go after that thing with all of your capacity, sagacity, strength, faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither feminine gout, sickness, or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you beseech and beset it, with the help of God you can get it. See, God is my business partner, and He can't lie. He don't lie. So see, I don't worry about all that stuff going on out there on the side. If you know, well, I'm explaining so if you don't know, you will.
Okay.
A hunter on the top of his rifle has a scope. And when he put that scope on his target, it's between two threads. It looks something like that. It's between two threads. And so that's his focus. He don't see to the left. He don't see to the right. He sees his target.
Mm-hmm.
And if that scope is on the target, that's what he's shooting at. I don't look to the left. I don't look to the right. I don't look up or down. I focus on where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I do it habitually. I do it consistently. And I do it every day.
That's good. That's good. Talk about focusing on multi-targets at the same time.
There are a lot of individuals that say they can multitask. That's good. That's well and good. I don't multitask. I double task. I double task. I focus and do. I do and focus. Period.
Okay.
So I can't tell you about multitasking because I don't do it.
Okay. I'm writing that down. I focus and do and focus. And so what are your results in doing this with some of your endeavors? Have you always been successful with that model, focus and do, or do and focus? Or have you had some point in time where you were like, I did that, but now I got to go back and I got to reapply or relearn because the end result was not what I had written down as the potential? It made me come back. You're smiling, so hit that thing.
Because one of my mentors, and you know, I love it, brother. His name is William Murray. He has the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, and Brother Murray would always tell me, he said, Drew, look, he called me Drew. My friends call me Drew, so he called me Drew. You know, he's my friend.
All right.
He said, Drew, he said, if you win, you're happier. If you lose, you're wiser. So there are a lot of times that I have been wise. I have been wiser because I know not to go back and do what didn't work. If it works, you keep doing what's working. If it doesn't work, then you come back to the drawing board and see what else is out there.
Okay. So I like that statement about being wiser because we've all been wise in multiple areas of our life. We've all been wise. Can you take that wise strategy and apply it generically into a one size fits all in being wise for the next endeavor or just in life in general?
In general, one size fit all. For me, I'm talking about me.
Okay.
If an individual want to use what I use is fine. I'm talking about me. I can't talk about anybody else but Andrew. I get wisdom from reading the Bible.
We're on the same page because I was coming back with that.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom is gain. You know, people got there are atheists out there, whatever. I'm not talking about anybody but me. I get wisdom through reading the Bible.
Okay.
Because it's full of wisdom. Now there are individuals that are going to say, well, it was written by this person, that person, whatever. Regardless, it came out, there's wisdom there. And if whoever wrote it, then they wrote wisdom, as far as my concern. I'm not going through any in-depth theological, religious, spiritual thing. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just sharing with you where I get wisdom from.
And I'm glad you said that, because as I asked that question, that's what came to my mind. If any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And again, and all that I get and get understanding. So there may be a huge rock literally in front of us. We don't necessarily want to move the rock, but we need to go know how to get to the base of the rock, find out what we need, the tools we need to climb the rock. And then once we get to the top, do we say, oh yeah, I made it to the top, and then just look around and say, oh, that's a beautiful ocean, that's another beautiful rock? Or then do I need the strategy to say, well, how do I get down from here off of this rock? So that's why I asked that question when you said, when you lose, you gain wisdom.
If I'm going to the store and the road is blocked, I don't change my mind about going to the store. I just take another direction.
Right.
So if I know the direction I took to get to the store, I know the direction I can take to get back to where I come from. Because the route that I was taking might be still blocked.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this then. Can you share with us maybe one of the toughest lessons that you had to learn as not necessarily network marketing, but just in some of those principles that you applied coming up? Because you talked about the people were older than you, they already had a job, and some other people, they already had a job. So was there an experience that almost, you're like, whoa, this thing almost knocked me off my feet, but then yet you felt maybe them in your ears, not literally, but saying, man, don't let that thing stop you, don't fall, keep pushing up? Can you name one of your experiences that was hard like that?
The biggest lesson I've learned, everybody that's in your circle is not in your corner.
Explain that in layman's term. I know what that means, but explain that.
You're constantly dealing with people. You're dealing with people, and individuals will tell you that they're going to do something and they don't do it. You can't trust. A good example would be, I took a business etiquette class, and I went to a function, and I saw it at work. I was talking with an individual, and somebody just came up, butted in the conversation, and started talking. If I had not have taken that business etiquette class, it might have got ugly.
Okay.
Because I just might have said, hold up, can't you see me talking to this individual? Don't you have any type of respect? But I let it go, and I bagged off, and I just told the individual, I just gave him a sign, I said, look, I'll call you later. And they nodded their head. But in learning, everybody do things because they pick it up. Like we are a people of social mirroring, they call it. We learn by what we see, even coming up from school, from church, from parents. We learn what we see, we do what we see, and we think that we carry it through life without questioning it. And because we don't question it, when something happens that's arbitrary to what we've learned or what we do, we stand against it. Okay. But everything that we learned when we were younger, even though it could have been fruitful then don't necessarily have to be fruitful for us now.
Okay.
And so there's a different experience that we're learning because we are in a technology information age. And everything that happened when I was in high school, I took typing, the old Remington typewriter or Royal or whatever.
Click, click, slam. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, technology have gone so far. You don't use typewriters anymore. I doubt if you might find a typewriter in a museum somewhere.
I got 4 of them right here at home.
You got antiques, right? And they're probably still working if you use them.
Yeah, probably so.
But the thing about it is they are outdated and they're not used anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with us as humans receiving information that's outdated and not used anymore is not good for us now. And so it's very important that we realize that we are in the information age, we're in the technology age, and we have to act accordingly, learn accordingly, apply accordingly.
Okay, so let me interject on that part. I think I saw a news article on the news maybe about a month ago that during the pandemic, I believe there may be 1 or 2 shops in the country that still fix typewriters. And their business more than doubled because people were going back to using the typewriter because they were not comfortable. I think they said either with a computer or something happened. So, and the reason I brought that up is because there were times that we may have received information coming up that we have tabled and said, nah, I don't need that. I'm not going to use that. I didn't care for math after Roman numerals. But in my career, I had to learn how to use some of those functions past Roman numerals. For instance, if I had to develop an Excel spreadsheet, I had to kind of understand the formula. But I wanted to ask you, you have a military background. So did you see that some of your military training also formed you to some of the mannerisms you have now when it comes to entrepreneurship?
The biggest and the most is discipline. It takes discipline. I worked for the federal government in my working career, even before I got to the government, and I retired from the federal government. It takes discipline, even though I was working as an entrepreneur before I retired. Mm-hmm. It takes discipline to transition from an employee to an entrepreneur, because now you're doing what you're doing for yourself, what you were doing for somebody else.
Okay.
So it takes discipline to do that. And just to give a quick overview, so as far as direct sales go, because people don't understand, there are 7.7 million sellers in the U.S. 7.7 million. Okay. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. It's like 0.9%, 0.9 million full-time. It's about 6.8 million part-time. 75% are women, 25% are men. And these are some figures that I pull up because they're very important to understand. White Caucasian, 87% in the direct sales industry. Other, 2%, whatever it might be. Native Hawaiian, 1%. Black or African American, 8%. And Asian, 3%. So you see who dominate the market. And I don't say that from a standpoint of one can't do it. I say that from a standpoint of individuals taking advantage of a free enterprise system and working. And also you have to understand what your resources are. You know, if I wasn't a person to look for resources, mm-hmm. I would have gave up a long time ago. If I come to a stumbling block, I'm not going to say, oh, this don't work, I'm quitting. No, I'm going to find a resource to enhance me to move forward.
Correct. That's
Every
right.
time I come to a stumbling block, I'm going to find a resource to move forward. I'm not going to say after 2 weeks of being in business, hey, it don't work for me. I started because if I had started a business, I wasn't going to pay 150,000, 200,000 to set up a brick and mortar. If I had started a business,
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I was watching us on YouTube. I normally have my tab. Go ahead.
no problem, no problem. I wasn't gonna use 150,000, 200,000 to start a brick and mortar when in my mind I could start a business for less than that because it's going to take the same amount of work regardless. A business is a business, whether it's brick and mortar or whether it's marketing a product or service to the marketplace. It's going to take work to do it. But there are different avenues and different things, different mindsets, different people. I just chose what appealed to me. If an individual wanted to put up a brick and mortar, so be it. The same tax privileges a brick and mortar have, I have. But I would say with that, touch bases with your CPA so they can explain it. I'm not a CPA, so I'm not going to try to explain that. I know that it works for me. Also, I have a store, a brick and mortar. People walk past a store, they look in the window, they walk past, they come back, they look in the window. They might go in, they look around, they might buy something, they might not. Well, it's the same thing if you got a service or a product. People are going to look to see what you got. They want to test to see what you got or try to see what you got. But whether they purchase or not is up to them. But it's no different. The only thing that I have control over is the people that I share the information with. I have no control over what individuals do with the information. When I was a security guard at the Smithsonian, I was introduced to the crime triangle. The crime triangle shows an individual, criminal, have a desire to commit a crime, have the ability to commit a crime. My job in security was to stop the opportunity by security network, security means. So even though you had the desire and had the ability, the opportunity might not exist because I'm going to make sure it doesn't exist by having security measures in place. My platform, I call the savings triangle. Individuals have a desire to save. They have the ability to save. I'm giving them an opportunity to save. I'm not going to curtail that. You have an opportunity to save through the cost reduction platform that I present to the marketplace. And I specialize in helping individuals save money on the platform. I know what I'm doing. If you're interested, you've seen the information there, you can contact me. The only reason I'm not going through a big spiel here because it's unnecessary when the platform is about network marketing. I'm sharing what the profession is all about. I'm part of the profession, and it has been given to the marketplace in such a negative way that a lot of people, the first thing they hear when they hear network marketing or direct sales is pyramid scheme. That's what they hear.
Well, and I mean, rightfully so, because some people have been burned by that or used that. But I wanted to ask you a question because you used a couple of terms: brick and mortar, the CPA, things of that nature. Is there a website that someone can go on and search out business terminology? So in case someone wants to start a business, they can actually online and when people are calling out acronyms and say, "Oh, that looked familiar. I read that. Let me see what that is." Because if you're going into a business blind and you haven't done your research, you're going to spend more money trying to get that business or cost to get the money to get the business started, your startup costs. So by the time you halfway understand it, you've already spent most of your budget. So is there somewhere that people can look and for that?
I would share with individuals the simplest way is to do what they always do. Put it in the put it in their
Okay, in the
URL
UR.
and search for what they're looking for.
Okay,
Uh, Business startups, things of that nature.
okay,
There are in the circle of individuals that I deal with, and I mention it because it's very important. There's an individual by the name of Bob Yates. He has a platform, Circle of Champions. This guy is fantastic. Bob Yates, Circle of Champions, fantastic. If you want to learn business strategies, Bob Yates, Circle of Champions. The other individual, uh, Mr. Brother William Murray,
you talk.
Millionaire Mastermind Institute.
Okay,
I've learned so much from associating with these guys
okay,
um, and doing my own research. When individuals say listening to people, listening to tapes, reading, all of these things, the network marketing, the direct sales businesses have been labeled a personal development platform with a monetary value attached to it, because you can't grow, you can't develop without developing yourself.
right.
There's just no way you can do it. Like I said, everybody that's in your circle is not in your corner.
Correct.
And you can find people that will be in your corner, because I have been on my knees a many nights talking to my CEO. And the answer I get is, Andrew, as long as you are doing something that you like and you are not doing it in rejection of me, I'm with you. Don't even worry about it. But now, you still got the choice. If you choose not to go my route and do it yourself, then hey, I wish you luck, but you ain't have my backing. So I stay where my backing is.
Okay. Well, you know what? I have enjoyed speaking with you. I have taken some great notes. I like everybody in your circle is not in your corner. And so you guys have heard Mr. Andrew C. Walker talk about having a good work ethic, seeking out just because you hear something and you're not familiar with it, don't throw it away. See if it'll work for you, or you can try. And if it doesn't work for you, at least you've tried it. And are there any parting words that you would like to share before we end this broadcast tonight?
The most important thing that I can share with an individual is that look inside yourself and see your gifts and talents that's inside you. Um, Helen Keller, she wasn't blind when she was born, but she became blind. And when asked how did she feel about being blind, she said it wasn't being blind that bothered her. It
Mm-hmm.
was individuals that could see and had no vision.
Wow.
So what I can leave with you tonight is, just because you can see don't mean you have vision.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And not only could she not see with a vision, she couldn't hear, but yet still had a vision and still accomplished a great deal. So we can say, I can sum up, we can say that just because somebody else tells you that you have a handicap, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to own and accept that handicap. What comes to my mind is Moses stuttered, but that didn't negate the fact that God said, I am going to use you as a leader. I'm just going to connect you and your brother, Aaron, together so that he could help you. Well, this has been great. This is DJ Straight coming to you again from Praise from the Closet. You can always check us out or email us at Gospel Music Lovers Buffet. Share, go on our YouTube channel and hit subscribe to DJ Straight. A new month is coming up and we've got some brand new shows coming up. One will be, what do you think? That's going to be fun. Um, we also have story time on next Saturday. Again, you can always go and listen to our music at WGMLB.com. Playing right now is Clay Evans, Have You Got Good Religion? And just before him, all the way from the Bahamas, the islands, is one of my favorite singers, Marvina Providence, saying, Hallelujah, praise the Lamb. Wow, the Archers, Make Me an Instrument. That song was back from 1979. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And again, I'm going to put up Mr. Walker's information, Andrew C. Walker. There's his website, DrewScottReduction.com. His email address is coming across the screen. And then his contact number. And I will tell you, if you contact him on the phone, you're going to get a return call in less than 24 hours, probably in less than 4 hours. If he's busy, you'll get it in 30 hours. He's going to definitely get back to you. And all of that communication is definitely a part of being an entrepreneur, network marketing, individuals, whatever. Communication is huge. Communication is huge. So again, this is DJ Straight signing off from Praise from the Closet, and it's been a great interview. Mr. Andrew Clinton Walker, thank you for coming on and sharing with us on the show. What's your passion, your career, or your hobby? Who knows what you share? You may be able to help somebody else decide what their passion is going to be. This is DJ Straight signing